Welcome back, traders, to today's video on swing trading technical analysis on US oil, or you could say WTI crude, right? So we're going to be looking into that today. We're going to be looking at where we left off from last week's analysis. We're going to see where market is now, and we're going to work off what I think is most likely going to take place moving forward, right? So first things first is what I'm going to be more focused on doing this analysis is things that we kind of need to keep an eye on. So what I'm looking for is we're going to be looking for key levels, and market is in a key level right now, okay? We're also going to be looking at things that could actually happen that we may be able to tap into immediately, okay? As well as keeping an eye on the ball for things as they appear, and when they appear, we're able to respond to those situations, right? Okay, so first things first is the probability of price coming up to this level in the next few days is not looking likely. It can happen, but it's not looking likely, right? So I'm going to get rid of all of these little levels for now because we don't really need them there. We don't need them, right? So let's just get rid of all of this stuff. Let's get rid of this stuff up here as well. We'll pay more close attention to it as we get closer to those levels. And what we are going to focus on are things that are immediate, right? So what's immediate? What is going on in this area right now? This is what I would call urgent, right? It needs our urgent attention, right? So as it stands, we have the levels in this area of interest, okay? So a break above 66.03 is when the probability of price pushing all the way up is high, and therefore we may want to consider putting in longs, right? We may want to consider that, right? The second option is to sell if we get price close below 62.80, right? We're looking for sales, and with the sales we will be aiming to get them down to somewhere in this region, okay? And that would be 57.15, right? Now, should market make his way down to these zones over here, so that's into the purple zone and the one above, this is where I would most likely be thinking about taking long positions from. I'll be thinking about taking my buys from anywhere from between here and down here. All I'll be looking for is an indication to say that price wants to go up, and I'm buying straight. It's that simple, right? So with that said, this is the playbook that I'll be working from. The playbook is we get close below the low value nodes areas, which are the areas that I've highlighted, right? We're looking for sales, so that's under here. Close above, we're looking for buys, right? Automatically, just off how oil behaves, right? I know that pricing getting anywhere in these levels over here, so I would say between 76 and say 94, I know I'm in the selling zone, right? Whatever is happening, whatever my strategy is, it's got to be geared towards selling. Whenever I see price in these areas over here, my strategy automatically goes to bullish, right? Which is I'm looking for buying opportunities. It is really, really, really simple. I mean, oil is one of the simplest assets to trade if you're able just to follow a few simple rules with the whole thing, right? Which is the zones for where it needs to turn around, right? All here is all choppy. Okay? So anything can happen in these zones. This is where all the years of skills that we've built up, learning how to do this stuff, this is where it all comes in handy. It comes in handy in these areas over here, right? What is above these levels, anybody could do it. Okay, this here is it's a unique situation. Doesn't happen often, but when whoever would have seen this would have known automatically they need to be looking for shorts, right? Just as when we had oil come to, and if you look over here, it came to roughly zero. It came to -7 cents, right? So it was so low that they would give you 7 cents for a whole barrel of oil, right? That's how low we came. So we have two extremes. So you can see extreme over here, and we have an extreme over here. And between these two, this is where I've drawn my zone as to where I need to think about taking longs and where I need to think about taking shorts, right? And as it stands, we're still playing in the area. So this is where our skills as traders come in, right? And we've actually got to do things properly. But once we get them in these zones over here, it's just plug and play, right? It's just plug and play, simple. Buy at the bottom, sell at the top. That's it. That's it. So with that said, that's going to be the plays for today. Well, not for today, for these coming days and possibly a week or two. Because you got to bear in mind, right? The last time that I did the video, right? Just to show you how long you got to be prepared to wait for your move to take place, right? Because this is why many people don't really like swing trading, even though they pretend to say they do. They don't, because in their mind, I don't know what they think swing trading is, but swing trading is a lot of waiting time. It is a lot of waiting time. I'm just going to give you a little view as to roughly how long we've been waiting for this move to take place, right? And yes, you could have traded it, but our moves, when we get them, we get them. When we get them, we get them, right? So the last video that I did, right, was on... It was on the 28th, right? So the last video that I did, price was in this low volume node area, okay? The video prior to that, price was entering into this low volume node area, okay? The video that we've done today is price is now really beginning to move in this low volume node area where it's produced an all-encompassing candle to the downside, and it looks like it might want to break down, okay? This is where the sales could be triggered, right? So practically it's almost... So Thursday the 21st, so it's been 2 weeks, right? We had an opportunity over here. So close. Okay, yep. So we had an opportunity on Thursday the 14th, right? And I don't really remember if this low volume node was here or not, if I had it there. But if it was there, okay, then we had an opportunity to basically do some selling in this area. And depending on the amount of profit that you would have gotten out of the short sell in this area, chances are, if you're still in it, then yeah, it's not working out, you know what I mean? So chances are you probably would have been stopped out over here. So that would have been yesterday, right? But if you're still able to be in there, then my whole thing would be like, what are you doing? You know, from the moment that you saw this bullish candle, regardless, I would have hopped out on the next one, taken a small L, etc., and just kept it moving, right? But like I say, this thing, once you know the basic moves of how to navigate in the market, okay, this is where it becomes more of an art. You start to play games in the, you start to play the game in the market in a way where people might say it doesn't make sense until they see the results that you're winning. And then with that, they're like, oh, you're winning. And it's like, yes. And you explain it, and they're like, it makes no sense. And you're like, well, the reason why it doesn't is because you lack the context. And the context is extremely hard to explain to you. But the context is something that you gain through experience. So, for example, I know without a shadow of doubt in my mind that if I am to become a successful trader, I need to adopt the mindset of a swing trader. That's why I'm on this path. If I adopt the mindset of a day trader, okay, I will get caught in a world of confusion. I would win, but I would also lose as well. Where day trading tends to always work out. I can't explain it. It just does. If you're able to do it, great. If not, then you can't do it. But something that you want to think about. So anyways, with this rant all over and done with in regards to what I think are the best practices for the market, these are the moves that we're looking out for in oil. So 66.03, we may begin to consider looking at longs. At 62.80, we may consider looking at taking shorts. Right? So with that said and done, I want to thank you for coming over to watch this video. Right? If you haven't done so already and you find the content useful, or you just want to hang around, right? Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, and if you think I deserve it, drop us a like. Right? That would be much appreciated. And with that said and done, I will see you all on the next one.